Historically, what has happened across health is every organisation, every hospital had developed its own clinical procedures and policies and protocols. Obviously lots of variation, lots of practice of we've always done it this way, why would we change?
Waikato District Health Board is part of the Midland region, which has 5 district health boards, and each of those 5 district health boards had their own clinical procedures system that was developed locally. Senior nurses, educators, nurse specialists were spending a lot of clinical time developing up best practice procedures. Keeping them current was a huge problem. We noticed inconsistencies when transferring people in from one area to another. So we became really keen to have a standard procedure approach across all of our Midland region.
We wanted to be consistent in terms of patient care that was evidence-based, keeping the patient really at the forefront of our rationale for all of this. We looked at what was available in the market at the time, and the clinical staff reviewed that again and chose Lippincott.
The advantage for us was really around the ability to maintain the accuracy of the information. Prior to the introduction of the Lippincott Procedural Manual, we had a very, very large folder.
It constantly had pages missing from it. Nurses actually liked taking bits out of the folder to go to bedsides to be able to do patient care.
Transitioning from a paper-based manual, which was really difficult to keep up to date and keep together, to a online, easy-to-access procedural manual was absolutely fantastic. It also meant that the one manual that you'd have in your clinical area was replaced by a manual that you could get access to no matter where you were. All you needed was some kind of computer access.
So Waikato is an area that has a large rural population. 60% of our people live rurally, and a really higher than national average of Māori Indigenous people as well. So we're really aware of the way that we work in terms of learning models. We began to look at the Lippincott procedures and do a really considered evaluation and a pilot.
The pilot was successful. We then decided that we would roll it out. Each district health board rolled it out in a slightly different way, and they did that to take into account their own unique culture. And because of its success, we've now got it in 13 out of the 19 district health boards in New Zealand.
Hospitals, it's aged care facilities, it's primary care, community services, hospices, non-government organisations, the prisons, the health teams in the prisons in the South Island use Lippincott. So wherever nurses are working across the South Island, they can get access to Lippincott.
It's a good product for the wide range of users that we have within the DHBs but also in the communities.
Lippincott is used in our undergraduate training institutions. When they come through to us, they're really familiar with Lippincott already.
Before I go and perform a skill, I like to look up Lippincott. It helps me ensure that I'm performing the skills correctly and also maintaining patient safety.
They're really comfortable and familiar with looking up the information, Lippincotting it, and being able to actually find the information that they need really quickly.
I guess for me, being a nurse, particularly a reasonably new nurse, there's a lot that we still don't know, and evidence-based practice is something that is always evolving, and there aren't enough hours in the day to keep abreast of everything that's changing at the rate that it changes. So Lippincott means that I can access that database just one click. Good for me because I can't possibly remember everything, and when I have periods of time where I haven't practiced the same clinical skill or there's a certain procedure that I haven't done in a little while, it's a really good way to refresh.
Particularly in the aged care facilities are saying it's really fabulous when they get accredited, that all of their procedures are up to date because they're all using Lippincott.
If I have a resident coming from the community with a pressure ulcer or somebody comes with a complex wound, I can confidently say that I am using the best practice in the industry. It sort of gives me the confidence, okay, I am using it because I know this is right, not just because somebody said to use it.
The nurses feel more confident in their practice. They like the fact that it's very accessible to them. For the community nurses, they can download it onto their mobiles. They're out and about in some of our more rural areas in New Zealand and they don't need Wi-Fi or anything, but they can access a procedure.
Lippincott Procedures, based on an electronic platform, has taken us into the 21st century. We've never had the majority of nurses who work in a district health board, in primary health, in aged residential care and students having access to the same procedures based on the same evidence, research and best practice.
New Zealand's a small country and research can come from all over the world, but someone here in New Zealand has looked at what applies to our population, what applies to our workforce, and has said this is appropriate in New Zealand and this is what I'm going to have nurses who are working in New Zealand following.
That's because of Lippincott. We'll just keep Lippincotting it.